2020 Atlantic hurricane season is still ongoing. Recently, a strong tropical storm drenched the Cancun area of Mexico. Tropical storm Gamma hit the resort coast of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula at near hurricane force winds. It caused flooding on the streets. It knocked down many trees and caused many persons to become stranded who were trying to return from nearby islands. The storm came ashore near Tulum with maximum sustained winds of almost 70 miles per hour. This is only 4 miles per hour short of that of hurricane force winds. Close to the middle of the afternoon, the winds coming from the tropical storm decreased to 65 miles per hour. And at the time, the tropical storm was centered around 35 miles north-northwest of Tulum, and it was moving to the northwest at 8 miles per hour. Forecasters who examined the tropical storm stated that the largest threat to the area, which recently reopened for tourism after a pandemic shutdown, was likely the torrential rain and the possibility of flooding, with as much as 10 to 15 inches of rain possible over the northeastern part of the peninsula. Reports coming out of Mexico are that more than 41,000 tourists were present in the Quintana Roo, with hotels in Cancun and Cozumel already at more than 30% occupancy. According to further reports, Quintana Roo's state government showed police removing people from vulnerable shacks and removing trees that were knocked down. The storm also forced the closure of sea ferry services between Cancun and Playa del Carmen, with the islands of Cozumel and Isla Mujeres. The storm was projected by forecasters to come from the northern edge of the Yucatan on Sunday and then curve towards the west-southwest into the lower Gulf of Mexico. It would bring heavy rains across a large part of southern Mexico and Central America. Meanwhile, Hurricane Marie started to weaken on Saturday over the open Pacific Ocean, while Tropical Storm Gamma was hitting Mexico. Marie was a Category 4 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 130 miles per hour. Winds coming from Hurricane Marie declined to a Category 3 status of 125 miles per hour by Saturday, October 3rd. It was centered around 1,150 miles west of the southern tip of the Baja California Peninsula and was heading towards the northwest at 9 miles per hour. Forecasters have stated that Hurricane Marie, whilst it is a Category 3 storm, should not pose any threat to land. Currently, there is a tropical wave that is located south-southeast of Jamaica, and there is a 70% chance that this tropical wave could develop into a tropical depression over the next 5 days. The National Hurricane Center have stated that there was less than 30% chance of it developing, but as of 8 p.m. on Saturday, October 3rd, they clearly stated that they had to move the percentage to a high of 70%. Normally, formation chance through 48 hours is medium at 40%, but formation chance through a 5-day period is set to 70%. The National Hurricane Center further explained that environmental conditions are expected to become more conducive for the development of the tropical wave, which is located over the Central Caribbean Sea, and that this tropical wave will be producing an area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms. A tropical depression is likely to form during the early or middle portions of next week, while the system moves westward or west-northwestward at about 15 miles per hour across the central and western Caribbean Sea and then into the southern Gulf of Mexico. The system is expected to bring heavy rainfall and gusty winds across portions of Hispaniola, Jamaica, and Cuba, as well as the Cayman Islands during the next few days. On the continent of Europe, Tropical Storm Alex caused flooding and landslides in France and Italy. At least 2 persons have passed away and up to 20 persons are still missing after this powerful storm hit the southeastern regions of France and the northwestern areas of Italy. The storm, which was named Alex, has brought fierce winds and torrential rain to the area. Numerous amount of villages north of Nice in France suffered serious damages from the flood and landslides, with roads, bridges, and homes being destroyed. In northwestern Italy, flooding was described as historic. A section of a bridge over the Seine River collapsed. The Prime Minister of France, Jean Castex, has deployed the army and released emergency funds to tackle the worst floods for decades in southeastern France. Approximately 20 persons are still missing or have not been accounted for. There are many persons of whom they have no information. It has been stated that just because their loved ones have not been able to get in touch with many persons, this does not mean that they have been taken by the storm. It was also stated that the prospect of many more rain was a worry. According to meteorologists, about 450 millimeters of rain fell in some areas over a 24 hours period, which amounts to 17.7 inches of rainfall. This amount of rainfall is equivalent to that of nearly 4 months of rain at this time of the year. The Southern Alps region appeared to be the worst hit, with serious damages in the Roya, Tini, Estiron, and Vesubie valleys. The villages of Saint-Martin-Vesubie and Rimpla were cut off, with roads being impassable and inaccessible as well. A 29-year-old resident of Roquebillière told Agence France-Presse, "I lost everything, but we are alive. There must be one room left in my house." 2 elderly persons were swept away as their house collapsed in the village, and their fate is currently unknown. The storm also buffeted France's western Atlantic coast, causing tens of thousands of homes to lose electricity. The storm brought winds of more than 180 kilometers per hour, and these were recorded in Brittany, France. There were 2 loss of lives in Italy. There was a 53-year-old firefighter in Aosta Valley who passed away during a rescue operation, and a 36-year-old man whose car was swept into a river in the Piedmont region. His brother managed to get out of the car safely. A section of a critical bridge over the Seine River in Piedmont's Vercelli province collapsed shortly after it had been reopened on Saturday afternoon. In the region of Piedmont, several villages remain cut off after the rains made roads impassable. The situation has been described as extremely critical. In 1954, in 24 hours, 630 millimeters of rain fell in just a day. Hundreds of aid workers have been sent to assist with the rescue efforts in the villages that are cut off from roads. The storm also affected the northwestern regions of Lombardy and Liguria. The Roa River in Ventiglia has been flooded as well. Flood alerts remain for sections of the Po River, which have swollen by 3 meters in 24 hours. It should also be noted that the city of Venice, which has been bracing for high waters after suffering violent storms in August 2020, was successfully protected by a flood barrier system recently declared fully operational. 2020 is a year of disasters. The current Atlantic hurricane season is still ongoing. There is no stopping this Atlantic hurricane season. They have exhausted all of the letters that they normally use and have moved to using the Greek alphabet. They are currently at Gamma. And then if another system develops, they will have to use another letter from the Greek alphabet. Currently, there's a tropical wave across Jamaica, and they are forecasting that it will develop into a tropical depression over the next 5 days. It is clear as well that Europe has not been spared, as Tropical Storm Alex came through and caused great damages in Italy and France. The only good news is that the numbers of fatalities is minimal, and the number of persons that are unaccounted for remains at 20. We hope that these numbers will remain the same. It should also be noted that the good thing is that Venice was spared after they put in place a flood barrier system. Other countries should consider putting in place a similar system, but we don't know the cost of same or how they would determine where to put such a system and when to activate that system. However, that is the role of their hurricane and disaster preparedness system or organization. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think about these multiple disasters affecting the globe all at once. There's a pandemic, then there are storms that cause flooding, then there are earthquakes that keep happening more frequently. We haven't heard about any volcanic eruptions, but we are hoping that we'll be able to get through 2020 without any further disasters. But that may be catching at straws, because a disaster is always around the corner in 2020. Now like, comment, share, and subscribe, and leave your feedback down below. Share the content, and of course remember to ask your friends and family to subscribe as well.